So are we going to do this then? I don't really know. I mean, I've got an idea, but I haven't prepared.
Go on then. No, I haven't really prepared either.
So we are reviewing A Christmas Carol. That's what we're doing. That's
Charles Dickens version.
Yes, the Charles Dickens version. Yes, specifically. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ebenezer Fripp, he refuses to give out music for free. Okay, and his old business partner Bob Marley comes to him in the night. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's much discussion about what the story's really about, whether it's a truly Pythonist story or it's just some Buddhist stuff about an autobiography of a yogi, which he didn't even read. It's all a bit Dickensian. That's all I've got. That's how far I got.
Did you know that Charles Dickens used to perform readings?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say now? That his first ever performance of a reading was A Christmas Carol. And it was in Birmingham.
Oh, it was in Birmingham? I didn't know that.
It was in Birmingham, yeah.
What was he doing in Birmingham? Goodness me. That's because that's where all the poor people are.
He loved Birmingham.
I'm sure he did.
I don't know why.
Because very Dickensian, that's
poor
why.
People. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. This is once I read it every year, or I listen to it every year. I certainly watch a version of it over Christmas. Normally, the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is the best version.
Yes.
And it's just an awesome story. And yeah, what's so awesome about it, Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I know we know what it's about, and we know the point of it. But why do we really like it? It's got a 3-act. Well, no, it's not 3-act structure. There's 3 things that happen in the middle act. Is it? Yeah. Well, I think there's like 5 acts, though, isn't there? Really? I think that's right, or something like that.
I think there's 4 stanzas, isn't there?
Is it 4?
Yeah. So there's Scrooge as he is, with Bob Cratchit in his office being mean and miserable.
Yeah.
Visited by Marley. And then you get the 3 ghosts, so it's got to be more than 4.
This
sure
is our review.
4 stanzas anyway.
I'm going to Google it. 5. What did I say? Did I say 5? I think I said 5. Didn't I?
Yeah, that might be right then. So you got the start, the 3 ghosts, and then you've got him being awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So there's 2 separate questions, isn't there? Really. Why do we like it? Which is interesting. But also, there's the question of at the end, he only becomes good to help himself. That's one way of looking at it. Does he actually want to be a good man, or is it actually only because he's seen what happens when he's not a good man?
Yeah, that's interesting, that is, isn't it?
Hmm. And so ends our analysis of Christmas Carol.
I think he's a good. No, I think he becomes a genuinely good man, doesn't he?
What's it's written? Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be he's acting out of fear. At the very end, when he's going around buying massive turkeys and stuff like that, he seems to be genuinely quite excited about it all.
Okay, yeah. So, well, yeah. Maybe when he does it, he enjoys it.
Yeah, but there was definitely an element of fear.
Yeah.
Goes to the Christmas future,
which is the cool bit, obviously.
Yeah. I like it because I mean, it sort of embodies what we think we like about Christmas.
Yes. Well, so, he's one of the main popularisers of what we think Christmas is. In that he kind of invented a lot of that, and apparently Merry Christmas wasn't something people. He didn't invent it, but he popularised people saying Merry Christmas. Yeah,
I don't think Christmas was a big thing when he wrote it. It was a sort of it was not like a celebration like it is now.
Yeah.
It was more like the Liberals had taken over and banished Christmas. So no one said it. They didn't even say happy holidays to each other. Well, it says it, doesn't it? Everyone takes just Christmas Day off. It's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every December the 25th.
That's true.
It's not like you don't get, he didn't get like a week off or whatever, or through to the New Year. There was no mention of New Year.
Yeah, well, it's seen as a Victorian thing, isn't it?
Mm.
But I suppose that came after him, didn't it? So that they were influenced by
him, yeah. It's quite. Apparently, he was inspired to write it after attending a talk with Benjamin Disraeli.
Oh right, that's me.
He went out for he had a chat with Disraeli, and then he went out and he had a thought, which makes me think: is Disraeli Scrooge?
There was some MP. I'm sure inspired by some MP.
Disraeli was an MP.
John Ells.
Oh, right.
Don't know. But I don't think this guy was so much... He wasn't like a Scrooge. He wasn't like an arsehole. He was just... Didn't spend any money. At all.
Yeah, I just think it's... What did you say, sorry?
Sorry, this guy, John Ells, he wasn't like a Scrooge. He just didn't spend any money at all.
Ah, right, okay. So he inspired the character of Scrooge.
Supposedly. I mean, this is in a big block of text. I've just picked it out, so you know.
Yeah, but there's obviously Dickens. There's a common Dickens theme about the poor and the deserving poor and the undeserving poor and all that kind of crap. Where and it seems to come through that Scrooge embodies the concept of the undeserving poor, or you get what you deserve, basically, and therefore his conscience is clear.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was sort of like a widespread attitude during the Victorian times or not. I mean, you do get some characters in the novel who come like looking for charity. Oh, no prisons, no poorhouses, which suggests there were people who saw through the poverty sort of thing, but they didn't seem to acknowledge their role in it.
Yes.
And this is a sort of a story of a guy acknowledging his role in other people's poverty and the pain, his role in causing, genuine misery and pain.
Yeah.
That's sort of like a massive lefty analysis, isn't it?
Yeah, but there it is. You can't get away from it. That's what it is. So Christmas is really political.
It is actually. I don't really want to go on a massive political rant, but I can't understand anyone who sees it as a sort of like a Christian story or whatever.
Well, they do. Yeah, it is still discussed whether is it a Christian thing or is it actually like a secular, socialisty thing. And there is, opinions in both directions. It was in called Vicar of Dibley. It was in Vicar of Dibley because there's this thing about there's a political statement in Vicar of Dibley in this new one, but it always was, and there's this great bit about them having a discussion about what was that socialist rubbish you were saying at the pulpit last week? It was the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus didn't say you should give all your money to the poor.
I mean, that's the Church of England is supposed to be the Conservatives at prayer, isn't it? I mean, how a Conservative can... it feels a little bit like I'm a good person because I go to church. It's almost like a whitewashing of the soul. Oh, it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you go to church to whitewash all the crap you do Monday to Saturday.
yeah. I'm a good person because I'm standing here and doing this and saying, "Oh, I'll be a nice person."
Yeah.
Not be a nice person. And it's very difficult to get through this without mentioning our cartoon character in Parliament.
Smog.
Playing up to it. He's obviously playing up to it because it's so ridiculous. When he's annoyed that they're giving money to the poor.
Yeah.
He's not
offended. offended by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Actually offended that someone would look out for the poor. Anyway, it's a bit like vegetarians who say, "Yeah, but I eat chicken."
yeah. It is. But I wouldn't kill anything. That'd be awful.
Yeah.
And every Sunday you go and say how you wouldn't kill things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Fundamentally, I think it ties in with what I said about why he changes himself, why Scrooge changes. In that, if Scrooge is just doing it to help himself, to save his soul. That means it's a Christian allegory. If he's actually doing it for well-being, he realises him doing good makes everything better for him and everyone else. That's a secular thing. So you've read it purely as a secular thing. That's what it is, isn't it?
I don't know. I think there is obviously a bit of a Christian narrative in there, but I mean, the thing is, these aren't angels; they're ghosts. So it's sort of like,
which is cool.
Yeah, but then there is obviously a suggestion that you are carrying some burdens in the afterlife that were generated in this life, and that would be a very Christian way of looking at things, or a very religious way of looking at things anyway, not necessarily just Christian.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of both. I think Dickens was an incredibly smart person, like, because one of the things the ghosts do to get Scrooge to change his ways is show people having fun and socialising, and sort of him wanting to get involved with that, because we're all inherently social creatures, and if you show someone something like that, I should imagine it happens to everyone. You want to get involved, you want to play. You want to feel part of the group, and that's not. I don't think that's political. That's just human nature.
Yeah, there's something much more fundamental there, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, the answers that come up at the end of A Christmas Carol is basically a benefactor choosing to be kind to his lessers, i.e., Scrooge, which could be seen as a right wing sort of solution to the problem.
Yes.
Charity and stuff like that. Rather, he doesn't suggest that the state should get involved, but I don't really see how you could suggest that in that story. I mean, it's a story about people, so
yeah, it's about somebody helping.
The change has to come in the people, not an institution like the state.
I think I need to find this. Hang on. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I searched for Tiny Tim, and the first thing that comes up is on the original book, not the release, but the original book. The line that just says "and to Tiny Tim who did not die." That's the only indication that he didn't die. Was added afterwards.
Really?
So it was in.
He forgot
when it was printed.
That.
Yeah, put it on when it was printed, but
he wrote the whole thing in 6 weeks.
Goodness me.
And he got it out on December. I can't remember. It's December the 13th or something. It sold out in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, really. And it's been one of the. It is. I think it's sort of like the timeless Christmas story.
Well, yeah, because of that saying, doesn't it? I mean, But and of course, it is a horror story. It's very much horror. Which is, I think that's why that's a Christmas tradition as well, to watch horror films.
Do you watch horror films? I suppose Gremlins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Gremlins is a Christmas film, obviously, yeah. But yeah, traditionally, late at night on Christmas Day, and I think maybe Christmas Eve as well, there's horror films on late at night. That's a tradition. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I suppose it's more a family thing of people being at home and stuff and telling each other stories, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
7 years after the death of Ebenezer Scrooge's business partner, Jacob Marley.
Marley was dead to begin with. That there is no doubt.
I like the chains stuff. That's definitely a Christian thing, isn't it? The thing that Marley's got some chains, But Scrooge is going to have like much more chains. He's going to be wrapped in chains.
Yeah, that feels more Catholic to me than
definitely,
because there's a sort of idea of purgatory. You know, you've got to pay your penance for what you did during life before you can go to heaven, or sort of like the idea of karma in like the Eastern philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah. As a kid, it was the Mickey Mouse one. It was the Disney one I used to like. And then I saw it. I didn't see it. Wasn't on for like 20 years, and I saw it again, and it was like half an hour long, and I was so disappointed. It's like, oh bugger.
Well, I listened to the Tom Baker one on Audible, and that's right up there as sort of like one of the best versions, I think.
Oh, it's not him reading it. You mean it's a dramatisation with him?
It's him reading it.
Oh, it is reading it. Well, probably will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because the original's the best, and Tom Baker's reading it. So
yeah, so I do find like there was a Patrick Stewart one, which was like, I think it was a BBC production a few years ago, and I thought this is going to be good. Yeah. This is going to be good. Actually, I don't know.
It was alright.
I find people struggle to pull Scrooge off. Michael Caine was actually very good Scrooge. That's why Muppet Christmas Carol worked.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone would have even. You don't even accept that as a thing that Patrick Stewart couldn't do it. But no, he wasn't very Scrooge, was he?
No.
So what's the one I watched as a child that wasn't Disney? I think there was a black and white one and a colour one.
It's not a George C. Scott one, is it? Is it George C. Scott?
Let's have a look. Okay, 1908, 1910, 1938, 49, 1960, 82. That can't be it. 84. It can't be 84. In my head, it's like late 60s or something, but it is colour.
There's so many of them, isn't there?
1960 film. It says a British theatrical short, though. 28 minutes. That can't be it. You know, and that in my head, that's what it all looks like. You've got the Grim Reaper as the Ghost of Christmas Future, and you know,
I am death.
And the Christmas present is like the fat guy with all the food, and you know. And
there's a Basil Rathbone version.
I wonder if it's
Alistair Sim. I think that's quite a famous one. Yeah, Alistair Sim. So many people's reckoning this is the best version of A Christmas Carol ever made.
Oh, it's an animation,
though. No, it's not. Oh, the one you watched was an animation.
No. I clicked on Alistair Sim. Oh, this might be a different one though, because there's no Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, he's not with it. This is a different one. Basil Rathbone did one in 54. Alistair Sim did one in 51.
Oh right. I bet the black and white one I know is the 54 one.
Basil Rathbone.
Yeah.
Elementary, my dear Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, and you know, and then he falls into his grave, which isn't in. That's not in the book, is it? He actually falls into his grave.
I don't think that is in the book.
And then people come and wrap him in his chains. Perhaps it is the 84 one. When by 80, if it was, then it must have been on the telly very quickly, because I would have seen it then. You know.
Yeah.
You know, my head has been something that was always on. There's the Doctor Who. Probably the only good Doctor Who Christmas special. It's the Christmas Carol one. Yeah. That's fantastic. That's easy. I mean, usually the Christmas specials are terrible. Because that's a very difficult thing to pull off, is to do sci-fi for a Christmas audience.
Yeah.
Maybe the first... Yeah, okay, the first one, David Tennant's first... It's actually his first thing. That one's good. And the Christmas Carol one.
The one with the killer Christmas trees? Oh no, that's...
Yes. But I think they came back the next year. And there was a spider in the centre of the earth or something. And that was the first time with new Doctor Who, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
This is boring now.
Is there going to be a Doctor Who special this year?
They've moved it to New Year again.
Oh.
Sabotage.
Are there any specials on this year?
I've watched a Ramesh Ranganathan Christmas special of his travel program, and he went to the Outer Hebrides because he couldn't go anywhere else because it was COVID.
Watch the Grand Tour thing. You know, they've got a new Grand Tour.
Oh right,
on Amazon Prime.
they're still going with that then.
Yeah, it was alright. It's not as good as the last one.
Well, it never clicked with me. I did try a few times. It was just boring about cars.
Yeah, the last one was like the specials.
Right.
So this one they're looking for buried treasure.
Oh, okay.
They get a code, a secret map sort of thing to find the buzzards' lost treasure on Madagascar. So they're driving around Madagascar in cars, looking for buried treasure and struggling.
Well, that should be good, shouldn't it? That sounds great.
Yeah, it's not bad. The one before was good, better. They had to build boats or something like that.
I saw the trailers for it. Yeah.
Yeah, to go down in Vietnam. Was it Vietnam? Or that area. Yeah. And it was really quite funny.
Because it's funny. Generally it's comedians that don't like them because they're not comedians.
Yeah.
And they're just messing around.
To laugh. Yeah.
And it's really funny.
It's just a joke. Like on Top Gear.
What else do you watch at Christmas?
There's normally like an Agatha Christie that the BBC have made or something like that. Or
yeah. There's always good BBC stuff. Yeah. There must be something.
Occasionally used to get Jonathan Creek. Done that for ages, have they?
That went downhill, and actually going back and watching it again, it went downhill much faster than I thought it did. The first one is brilliant. Which I think has... Is it Colin Baker? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And there's like a proper puzzle, and it turns out the guy bricked himself up or something in a room, and that was how he disappeared. But after that, it went down. I think like the first season is good, and then after that, it might as well be Frost.
No, there doesn't seem to be anything worth watching. I suppose I haven't been able to do anything because bloody COVID.
True. It is a tradition that nothing on at Christmas.
Yeah.
The Great Escape. Star Wars Christmas special.
Tell you what I watched the other day was Into the Spider-Verse or something like that, a Spider-Man animation movie.
That's supposed to be good, isn't it?
It is awesome. Right. Honestly, it's really, really good.
My whole family have watched it, and they all really like it.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. Kev, I feel like we've moved off the subject of A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yeah. Well, that's one thing you can watch at Christmas, and there are other things to watch at Christmas.
This is the worst Christmas special ever.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of our other Christmas specials. I mean, we made mince pies, which went much better than we expected.
Yeah, the problem is they all go really long, don't they?
Yeah.
They're like an hour long.
Okay, what's the alternative to Christmas Carol? If you're not going to read Christmas Carol at Christmas, what are you going to read?
I think it's quite traditional in America to read what's it called? 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. When all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. That's just a poem though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's genuinely answers the question though. I was thinking it'd have to be Dracula or something. Yeah, last year we got Dracula, didn't we? Although I think that was New Year.
Was it? Well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was shoved to New Year.
We didn't finish that.
Really?
Wasn't that taken by it? Yeah.
So how much did you watch? There was 3 episodes.
Yeah, we watched 2 episodes, and then he turned up on the shore in modern times, and I was like...
Yeah, I mean... I wanted more of that stuff. I got the impression they couldn't decide whether to do a Sherlock or whether to do a proper proper Dracula.
Yeah.
Because I got the impression with Sherlock in the end, they wish they'd just done Sherlock Holmes properly. Because they did that. Do you remember they did that Christmas special with Sherlock, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where it was all a dream, but it was just an excuse to do proper Sherlock Holmes. Can you think of any justification for why Doctor Who isn't on Christmas Day? Why would they have moved it off Christmas Day?
Because of all the other stuff they've got on there, like Celebrity Come Dance With Me or whatever it is.
That's my only explanation. Is it's that thing of TV execs hating sci-fi, hating anything that isn't rubbish, because they think people want to watch rubbish. Coronation Street, Emmerdale, soaps. 7 things on TV that made us smile this week. Harry Hill's worth watching. He's got a series on probably on iPlayer at the moment.
Is he?
Which is quite funny. Radio Times won't let me down. Have we got anything else to say about Christmas Carol?
Not really. Just egg it. 6 eggs.
It's got to be 6 eggs. It's bloody Christmas
6
Carol.
eggs.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Maybe we should have done it. We should have done a discussion on how we'd turn a Christmas Carol into a concept album.
Yes. Yeah, that's where my thoughts were going, really, isn't it? That's what I was moving towards. Sort of. That's the point, actually. Why isn't there a concept album of Christmas Carol?
What was that Scrooge McDuck thing from a few years ago?
That's true. That's about Scrooge McDuck. It's not Christmas Carol.
Isn't it?
It's his adventures of becoming rich. Dickens. I've said it's quite Dickensian. That's basically the best. That's all I've got.
Yeah. That's perfect though, Kev. Sums it up.
Mm-hmm.